If you've ever ordered food from Sharif Bhai, Nomad Pizza, Rolls on Wheels or Eat Fit, you're in for a treat today as we have Mr. Ankit Nagori, founder of Curefoods, for a chat with us at Urban Piper. Welcome, Mr. Ankit, and thank you for taking the time to speak to us today.
Happy to be speaking to you.
Well, let's get started. We're sat here in your beautiful office. Can you tell me what is Curefoods and what does it stand for?
So Curefoods is nothing but a multi-brand F&B business. We operate brands in an online manner, and also we have restaurants and outlets across the country. We are trying to build multiple brands across key cuisines, and we sell on all channels where customers are looking to consume food. So yeah, that's what Curefoods is.
You said a few things there, right? Multiple brands, cloud kitchens. For some people who don't understand this, are you talking about like multiple brands from the same kitchens? Is that something you've been doing?
Right. So if you have to think of us, think of us as a Unilevers of food or ITC of hot foods, where from the same factory we are producing multiple products and sometimes multiple brands within the same category. For example, you mentioned Nomad Pizza. We've got two pizza brands. One is Nomad and second is Olio. They're different segments altogether. Nomad is an artisanal, really premium brand, and Olio is more affordable, more go-to pizza brand, and a similar approach for Indian food and biryani and everything. So the beauty about the business is that the infrastructure is common at the back end. Whether it's central kitchen or whether it is cloud kitchen where the food gets delivered from. And the storefronts are different, either on Swiggy, Zomato, the websites, and in places where we have restaurants, of course, there it's not multi-brand. Restaurants are standalone for their respective brands. That's how it works.
So one question I naturally have there is, with the same infrastructure, you're doing different brands. How do you create this unique identity? How do you keep the proposition unique for each brand?
Brand is a very, nuanced word. So I would say there's their brands, their labels, and their products. So for a brand to become a brand, it is a combination of a very strong product philosophy, a very strong positioning, and very clear idea of who the customer is. Once you're able to identify all of these three really well, then you can call a collection of products as a brand. But in many cases, you can't do that. And you just are just a collection of products, and in an online world, you're a label. So, we have a very strong dessert brand called Cake Zone. But for Indian desserts, we have not been able to create a brand per se. So we just have a label which is activated each time there is a Diwali or a Christmas or a Holi.
Wow.
Where people can just sell buy sweets online. And there we think if it is a label. So I think brand for us is, I think we're building 4 to 6 brands. And if you're successful in building even 4 out of them, we'll be very, very happy. But given that we're an online first player, we can have a lot of labels or listings which can sell on Swiggy, Zomato, or on their website.
Amazing. That's truly amazing. And with all these brands, I'm curious to understand, over the last 12 months, what does India like to eat? Like, what's the most popular cuisine? What makes people keep coming back?
Right. See, we have defined our own selection in 3-4 parameters. One, we call it as a daily brand. So we've got Eat Fit, which is our largest brand and the most frequently consumed brand. Then we've got Nomad Pizza and Olio Pizza, which are pizza brands, and there's Sharif Bhai Biryani, and of course Cake Zone. So if I have to talk about last 12 months, Eat Fit, of course, is our largest selling brand because it is designed to be a daily consumption brand. People can come there and eat just a rice bowl, which is like done in a healthy way with a lot of leafy vegetables and lentils and brown rice, etc. But if you have to talk about India per se, overall, I think for Swiggy, Zomato and online customers, pizza is the largest category. With Domino's being the most dominant player and a lot of new niche brands coming up. If you look at the pizza category, I think it has the largest number of new age brands which are doing well. Pizza Bakery in Bangalore, Nomad Pizza, of course, our own brand. Then a bunch of smaller brands across many cities. La Pino's is doing extremely well. So I think pizza is a category where a lot of success has been met by a lot of new entrepreneurs. And then biryani, a lot of traditional brands continue to be very, very popular in biryani. And I feel that that's one category where, at least in southern part of the country, we have a lot of success. And Sharif Bhai is one such category where it is very authentic biryani brand and doing very well. So I think pizza and biryani lead the way for people who are looking to consume food on a entertainment basis or as a replacement of eating out. But as a replacement of daily eating, it's brands like Eat Fit, Great Indian Khichdi, which are a replacement for comfort food.
Okay, and there are so many different cities in India, right? I'm just curious, where are the biggest book herds, man? I mean, which city eats the most? Like,
Right. See, the consumption pattern mirrors the population, right? So I think Bangalore, Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, they are the largest cities. But if you look at cities which are much higher than their ratios, population ratios, I would say cities like Chandigarh, Jaipur, Kolkata, they are doing extremely well in online. But the bulk of orders come from the usual suspects, which are the top 4-5 cities in the country. Ahmedabad is a very interesting city where a lot of Ahmedabad, Indore, Chandigarh, Kolkata are next in line. Yeah.
okay. So you've been a brand that's made cloud kitchen work. How does one do that? I mean, there are reports that it is a challenging business, right?
Very tough business. See, I think cloud kitchens are no different from a retail store in a mall. The revenue per square feet or revenue per square feet per manpower or combination of that is very, very important. And if you're a single cuisine brand, there's no way you can make money through the week, through the day. Because, if you look at a week, it has 7 days and 4 meal slots. And you can't expect the same brand to do well on all 7 days. Because weekend dinner is very different from Monday lunch. People have different consumption patterns. Likewise, through the day, if you look at breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, different consumption patterns. So if you have to really make a kitchen work through the week, you have to have multiple products or brands. And that's the core success mantra for a cloud kitchen, where people can consume multiple brands through the week, multiple products through the week, and that drives up your consumption per square feet, consumption per manpower, consumption per hour. So that is the first ground rule. Second is, it is a food business, and hence the food cost has to be a certain ratio. So for evolved brands like Jubilant and KFC, food cost is 25%. A lot of cloud kitchen brands that I see, they're at 40-45% because they've not been able to crack that ability to charge from the customer. And a 4x markup on COGS is something which only established brands can get. So a lot of cloud kitchen brands, when they start, they're not focused on building brands. And given that they're online only, it's very difficult to build brand. So they have to go on YouTube, Instagram, create a lot of videos, create a lot of awareness, which is expensive. So it's almost like a chicken and egg problem, that if you're a young brand, you can't spend money. But if you're not spending money, you can't be a big brand. So it's a very tough problem. There are many people who've cracked it. I think in India, Rebel, Boxate, so they're doing extremely well. And I feel that there is room for a lot of such brands, but they have to crack the code on food cost, commissions of marketplace, and marketing. If you're able to solve these three, you can create good brands. And Pizza Bakery is a great example in Bangalore, right? Like a large part of their revenue is online, and they are doing extremely well.
And is this exclusively for these tier 1 cities, the cloud kitchens? Do they work only in tier 1 cities, or has there been someone who's been successful taking this to tier 2?
I think tier 2 cities, cloud kitchen only is very tough. Even in our playbook, in tier 2 cities, we are looking at hybrid stores where it will be an offline store come an online model. I don't think Indian consumers in tier 2 cities are okay to order only from a cloud kitchen, purely because there's so much cloud kitchen is also time versus time availability versus money arbitrage. I think somehow in tier 2 cities, because of low driving times, the lifestyle is slightly different from metros. The customers don't end up spending 1 hour in traffic, etc. So
are they less price conscious then?
They are more price conscious, I would say. You can't charge a premium on cloud kitchen there. So if you have to charge a premium, then you have to have an offline experience. They are more discount centric. So it's the other way around. A lot of consumers in tier 2 cities come to Swiggy, Zomato because they are getting deals. So I know of my cousins living in tier 2 cities where they would check Swiggy, Zomato only for deals. If not, they just walk out and go to a restaurant and still use Dine Out or a Zomato Gold or something. So you have to build differentiated experiences for them. But a cloud kitchen only model may not work in the near future for them.
So let's say you create a new brand today. I'm sure that might be one of the meetings you had earlier today as well. How do you go about creating a brand for it? How do you go about marketing it?
Right. See, if you're building an offline only brand, it's a different playbook. If it's an online brand, it's a different playbook. But for offline, I think building a brand is more about building an experience. Like I said, people come out with families, with friends. They're not only consuming food there. There is a 2-hour window that they'll spend there. It is a full experience. So building an offline brand requires you to have like a really extraordinary food product where people, it's not only about the food, it's also about the plating, it's about the accompaniments which comes with it. So that's a different product from an online only product. In online only, I think creating a brand is extremely tough now. There is a huge number of online players, restaurants which are offline but selling online as well. There, your success will only come from differentiation. If you're not creating a differentiated product, then you can't succeed. In offline, of course, differentiated product is important, but imagine a cafe which is serving the same pizza, but it has digital gaming consoles. You still have a chance of success because there could be gamers who are coming there and ordering pizzas. But if it were online only, if it's a 9 on 10 pizza, then also it may not succeed. You need a 10 on 10 pizza. So I think there are different ingredients for success for online or offline. For online, I would say extraordinary product and delivery time below 40 minutes. In offline, I think very, very good product, but a lot of focus on plating, presentation, accompaniments, and the experience of the store, whether it's the music or the ambience or something else. So yeah.
So then online, what are you left with? I mean, 10 on 10 product is hard.
Yes.
Some of the other stuff you mentioned as well is really hard. Is it then only a discounts game? Do you deep discount and deep discount?
That's the trap a lot of us have fallen into. A lot of people are continuing to be in that trap. I think if I look at our top products, right, not brands, our top products, our highest selling product at a group level is a product called Fruit Pop Oatmeal Bowl. It is our exceptional product. About 5 to 6% of our group volumes come from that one SKU. I still believe that it's a healthy fruit pop plus oats, fruits plus oatmeal. I don't think anyone in India has been able to create that taste. There have been a lot of Me Too's, etc. And because we've got that product right, we get it. The second highest selling product is the Mutton Biryani by Sharif Bhai. Again, it is an extremely differentiated product. Then if I have to talk about products which I consume, ITC Master Chef, extremely good brand. The Badam Halwa there, the Dal Makhani there is no product like that in the market. So I think in online, product is the king because you're in a marketplace where ratings are there, delivery times are there, prices are there, people are comparing all these parameters. And if you're not the top decile, then you will not make it. So I think you have to be among the top 10% in taste, experience, everything. Then you come into the consideration set. Of course, there will be the customers who are deal seekers who come once in a while, flirt with you, but go away. But if you have to build a sustainable business, there is nothing but a good collection of products. If you have 20, 30 products which are just extraordinary, the success chances are much higher.
Now, when let's say you have these 20, 30 products, right? There's so much that goes into what they call menu engineering today, right? What's good? Is it a large menu? Is it a small menu? Is it descriptions? What is it?
See, descriptions and naming and conventions are important for online discovery. So getting discovered on Swiggy, Zomato is no different from getting discovered on Google. You have to have the right name, right mix of play. So for example, if you're doing a paneer tikka, it might be called an Afghani paneer tikka or a Lucknowi paneer tikka. Their customers are looking for, of course, it has to be authentic as well. You can't just call a regular paneer tikka as Afghani paneer tikka or something else. So you have to have a right naming convention. You have to have the right description so that customers, a very important aspect is the display picture. It can't be extremely mundane, but also it can't be something which you're showing but the customer is not getting. There'll be dissonance. So you have to make sure that all of it is aligned. But I think at the end of the day, if you have to come out of the discounts piece, your product has to be extraordinary. You have to play the patient game of building repeats, and that's how your brand will be built.
And who's going to be the next winner? I mean, like you said, pizza is a major category. Yes. What's going to be the next big thing?
I think burgers is picking up extremely fast in the country. We don't have a burger brand yet, but we are looking to introduce burgers in 2 of our brands where we think it will be part of the menu. There was a phase when Nirula's was there, and then McDonald's and KFC was serving burgers, and Burger King now. I think India is ready for gourmet burgers and large sloppy burgers. And there are a bunch of brands doing very well. Good Flipping Burgers and Burgerama, they're extremely good. We are looking to introduce burgers, but we probably won't have a burger-only brand. I think India, next big wave in Western cuisine is burgers in India. While McDonald's always existed, they're more like small, quick bites. I'm talking about burger as a full meal, something like what a Truffles in Bangalore serves.
Yeah. Well, I'm hungry at this point. Let's dive into your business a little. On your website, you call out, one of your core values, I think, is deep tech.
Yes.
How deeply integrated is technology into your operations? Walk me through, some of the things you guys do.
Right. So we, more than the consumer-facing tech, which we have not had to build a lot because one, we are a marketplace player, largely a marketplace player. Plus, also the tech which we need to serve our customers from our own website is also fairly standard. Thanks to all the e-commerce work that's happened in the last decade, we don't have to build any of that. A lot of this is available through partners. But the back-end tech that we have built is very, very custom designed because it's...
Isn't that expensive then?
It's been very expensive, but we've only focused on building what's right. But then for others, we have partners like Urban Piper, right? So we figured that procurement to kitchen is one tech that we had to build because of the nature of products that we deal with. The second is the multi-brand cooking operations, because we don't want to be a co-working space. See, a lot of players call themselves cloud kitchens and they're nothing but a co-working space where it's just, one large hall and different tables. We're not that. We have integrated cooking lines. And only at the last point of the dispatch window does the guy know that which brand are they dispatching. For us, it's all one cooking line. And from that point on, from order taking to dispatching, that's all where, we work with Urban Piper. Farm to dispatch, farm to cooking. It is very, very custom tech where we have integrated cooking lines. If it's a pizza line, it could be brand A, brand B, brand C. If it's a khichdi, it could be Eat Fit khichdi, it could be HRX khichdi, or it could be Great Indian khichdi. Of course, there are 3 different products, but the chef who's cooking it does not know which brand is it for. Only at the dispatch window, so he's like, okay, it's an HRX order, so they'll do the HRX packaging. And for Swiggy, Zomato, our own channel. So the tech which we have built is for a lot of backend stuff to keep it standardized and making sure that, we've been able to do a lot of high quality operations, and from there on there are enough partners available for different legs of business.
I mean, that's fascinating insight into your business. Is that what differentiates Curefoods?
Tech is a table stakes, and people who are not building that tech won't scale. Today we're doing 60,000 orders a day, and for that to scale you need basic tech in place. But I think what differentiates us is the mix of brands that we're able to create. The fact that we've been able to keep that 30-minute delivery intact. Of course, the last part of 30-minute delivery comes from our operations excellence at the back end. Tech plays a role, but I think 30-minute delivery plus 4.2 ratings is something which we have to consistently keep striving for.
Talk to me a little bit about that. How do you manage the 30-minute deliveries? How do you do the 4.2 ratings?
I think 4.2 ratings is just, SOPs, trainings, continuous development, continuous improvement. The 30-minute delivery is broken down into 10-minute kitchen preparation time and 20-minute write time. And to achieve 20-minute write time, we need very high density. So now we have got 300 plus outlets, a combination of online and offline, and that gives us the right density. If you can't have the right density, you will never achieve that. But a larger thing is 10-minute delivery, a 10-minute kitchen preparation time. That requires tech and a lot of operations excellence.
And like you just mentioned, you have your own channels as well. And there's the Swiggy, Zomato. Yes. You have to rank higher there. How do you balance, having your own channel, making it cost effective?
Yeah. See, we don't ever think of our own channel as a competition to Swiggy, Zomato. We have use cases which are complementary. For example, in our cakes brand, all the scheduled deliveries, midnight deliveries, customized cakes are the differentiator. For Eat Fit channel, the subscriptions are the differentiator. So I think the way we are building our own channel is not to build use cases which are similar to Swiggy, Zomato, but use cases which are completely complementary to them.
And speaking a little bit about physical locations, where is the next location you're planning to open in Bangalore, and why? Why a particular location?
No, but the answer is different for different brands. We open offline location for Sharif Bhai Biryani, Nomad Pizza, and our Indian brands. I think Nomad Pizza is a high street business. It's a very premium pizza, 1,000 rupee pizza. So our first location was Indranagar, second was Sarjapur Road. I think third, we're still contemplating where it will be high street. Sharif Bhai is a very, very deeply penetrated brand in Bangalore, and now we're going to the tier 2 markets of Bangalore. And the Indian brands are very much like a food court and tech food court brand because they're more daily consumption brands. So so that's the answer. High street, tier 2 markets and food courts are the answer. Right?
If one were to start a restaurant, How long would you say it would take to break even?
Typically, offline locations, anything which breaks even by 18 months, the capex break even by 18 months and operational break even by 3 to 4 months is a good metric, but it is very tough. And I think the mortality rate of restaurants in our country is extremely high because ability to charge more is not there. Most people end up creating restaurants at 200 rupees per person price point, and for that you need to have a 50 rupees food cost. You can achieve 50 rupees food cost if you give low quality food, but the moment you start using high quality ingredients, not rolling over inventory from today to tomorrow and not serve good fresh food, then you will not get repeat customers.
But how do we build that willingness to pay when the discount game is...
It is a long-term journey. I think, today I'll go back to the examples of all the biryani brands in the country. They're doing so well. They charge 300-400 rupees per person, and they do well. So I think if you have a differentiated product where people are coming, not comparing you to a store next door, then they will also travel for that and go and do that. I think that's quite possible.
And finally, what from here? What's the plan in the next 12 months, 24 months?
I think the plan is just to continue building more stores. I think right now we are very well penetrated in metros. The idea is to build tier 1 and tier 2 stores in the next few weeks and next few years, and a lot of offline stores will come into being in these cities. Sharif Bhai is a very fast growing brand for us. So with that brand, we're also looking at tier 3 cities, because we feel that kind of dining experience does not exist in those cities. With Nomad, going to metros also with offline will be big, and our online only brands will continue to penetrate deeper into metros and tier 1. The good thing that we are seeing is that the demand depth in these cities is immense. So as soon as we exhaust one store, we are able to open a second store very close to that store. When I say store, I mean cloud kitchen. So I think expansion is the way to go right now. Yeah.
Well, we can just wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today, giving us great insights into not just your business, but what it takes for a restaurateur to tick today.
Yes.
And thank you finally for satisfying many of our hunger pans with some of these great brands that you have here.
Thanks. Pleasure speaking to you.
This has been Kaushal Raj for Urban Piper. Thank you for watching.